fundamental part of raising healthy plants is putting them in locations where the conditions are right for them to thrive. This principle holds true whether you're a gardener, a farmer, a landscaper, or as NCAP recently learned, an arborist. We spent one morning with staff from Sperry Tree Care company in Eugene, Oregon, to learn about how this principle applies to trees throughout the urban landscape.
Oftentimes it's said that 90% of the game is getting the right tree in the right place, and I don't think that can be overemphasized. That broad concept consists of many things. It oftentimes is used in terms of planting an appropriately sized tree. The classic example is street trees. You don't want to plant, for example, a Douglas fir or a redwood tree underneath electric lines because the tree will want to be enormous and the electric lines are going to get in the way. So street trees typically are smaller trees that will never genetically become so large that they interfere with the electric lines. So getting a tree that's appropriately sized to the space is an important concept of right tree, right place. Having a tree that is disease and pest resistant in your neighborhood, in your local area, is a very important concept too. We looked at the example of hawthorn trees, where English hawthorns don't do well in the Willamette Valley, but a very close relative, Lavelle hawthorn, will do very, very well in the Willamette Valley. That's another concept of right tree, right place, is getting a variety that will do well in its location.
If you have the right cultivar, you can have a tree that doesn't need any pesticide because this tree is virtually void of any problems on the leaves. In comparison, you can look across the street where we have the English hawthorn that has been, a failure year after year. They're very susceptible to leaf spots and apple scab and rust.
Another example of getting the right tree in the right place is this peach tree over here. This peaches in the Willamette Valley typically have lots of problems with something called peach leaf curl, and our wet, cool springs have a tendency to create conditions that favor peach leaf curl. Peach leaf curl can actually defoliate a peach tree, and it's been a huge problem in the valley. But there are varieties now that are resistant to peach leaf curl. This variety here of peaches called an Avalon, it is resistant to peach leaf curl. It has not ever been sprayed with anything, and even though we had a very wet, very cool spring, you can see that the tree is in beautiful foliage, and this first year it put out 4 enormous, beautiful, early, sweet, juicy peaches.
For more on the concept of right tree, right place, see the other videos in this series. For more information on alternatives to pesticides, visit pesticide.org or see NCAP's other videos at youtube.com/NCAPvids.